What is going on today, guys? Today is Thursday. In the last video, I had said that today we will be figuring out if the driver rear caliper is locked up or not. So we're going to be doing that today. Last night, I went ahead and ordered drilled and slotted rotors for all the way around the truck. Got some new pads coming, new front hubs coming, and I think something else. I don't remember off the top of my head. I'll look in a little bit when we order some more parts for the rear. For the rear axle, I need a pinion seal. Right now I'm kind of just doing stuff to get this little stuff buttoned up so I can get it out of here and go to paint. Obviously that's been something we've all been waiting for, so we're super excited about that. So today, like I said, we're going to be seeing if the driver rear caliper is locked up. We're also going to be figuring out what axle is in the rear of this truck, if it's a 10.5 or if it's a Dana 80 or what, I don't know. So we're going to be figuring that out today. Normally there would be a tag on the axle, but with these they rust pretty easy and fall off, so hopefully they're there. If not, we'll have to look around on it a little bit and see if we can find the numbers for it and so we can identify it. And then we'll get our rear pinion seal ordered. And something else. I can't remember off the top of my head what it is, but we will figure that out. We are also going to be getting rid of all of the e-brake stuff. So the cable out of the cab, the cable running back to the axles, and all of the hardware for the e-brake off of the rear axles. We will be doing that today as well. And that'll be it for this part of the video. And then once we get the new stuff, we'll get that put on, and then after that, we're going to be pulling all of this stuff off and apart so it can go to paint and get everything painted up real nice. So with that, we're going to go ahead and jump into today's video. Alright guys, so we went ahead and tested the driver rear caliper and it is toast. It is entirely locked up. I was hoping just from it sitting, the fluid wasn't backing out of it or something. It was just going to be pushing pistons back in and it was good to go. No. So that's toast, so we'll go ahead and add that to the list of the things we need to get before stuff goes to paint. And now I think, yeah, we'll go ahead and pull the e-brake cable from the cab to where it runs out to the back of the truck next, and then we'll hop on to pulling the e-brake hardware off of the axles. Alright guys, so for this e-brake cable, we're going to go ahead and start in the cab with it. So I started looking around to see what all we're going to have to take apart. There's bolt right here, and then that's it mounting wise, except in the back, if you can see that or not. There's two rivets that go through the firewall up to underneath the hood. So I went ahead and I opened the hood, but I still wasn't able to see them rivets in there, and I think they're going to be behind this wheel well instead. So we're going to go ahead and pull the wheel well out now because we're going to have to eventually anyway. And then we'll be able to get to those real nice and easy. Alright guys, so we got the inner fender well out now, and here I can show you guys now what I was talking about. maybe not. Alright, now you guys can see what I'm talking about. Those are the two studs there that mount the whole e-brake stuff inside of the cab. We're gonna go ahead and get the nuts pulled off of that, and then we'll be able to drop the rest and pull all of it off. Alright guys, so we just got the assembly out. It is sitting right here. I mean, this is always a pain in the butt, these little finger things. How it sits in there for the cable, so the cable don't slide back through whenever you engage the parking brake, e-brake, whatever you want to call it. So now that we got that, we are going to go ahead and pull it out of the truck here. Like that. And then we'll just get it out, just follow it down the frame and finish pulling the cable off. And that is how you do that, because the little arm things are stupid. So we went ahead and got that part done. Now we're gonna go ahead and come back here, and it looks like we got a couple rivets to grind, so yay. Alright guys, after about probably half hour, 45 minutes of grinding and prying and all sorts of fun stuff, we finally got this stupid bracket off. There's like a little bracket here with just a bolt in the middle that holds both of the e-brake cables, so we'll go ahead and take that bolt off, and then all of the e-brake cable stuff will be out of the way, and then we'll get to taking the rotors off and checking out the e-brake stuff behind those. Alright guys, so as far as the cable and the mechanism inside of the truck, all the e-brake stuff is off. Now we'll take the caliper brackets off, pull the rotors off, might have to beat them a little bit to get them off, and then we'll go ahead and pull all the e-brake stuff off from behind the rotor. Alright guys, so as you just saw, we got caliper brackets off on both sides and the rotors off on both sides. Now you can see all the e-brake stuff. So there's a spring down here on the bottom. I already kind of took it off. But there we go, right there. And then we also have set pins here. One there, and one on this side as well. So we got to pull those out, and then I'm pretty sure everything will just come right off, so we'll go ahead and get on doing that. Alright guys, so I got all of this e-brake assembly, I guess you want to call it, off. So what it is it was hard for you guys to see with all that stuff there, so I kind of just was going to explain it to you now. So on the bottom, how I was explaining at the adjuster, there was a spring there, so we took the spring off. And then there's pins here, the set pins that come through here on both sides. And they both had clips on them somewhere, if I can find them. Here's one of them. So the pin would come through the back and go through the front of this. And it would just kind of, this is what would hold that pin in. So you knock these off with a flathead or whatever you got. And then everything really just comes right off. You pull these off, both of them come off at the same time, and then you have this back here. There's like a little armature that comes through the back side here and hooked into this, and that's how the whole assembly works. So we got another one of those things back here. We got to get that off yet. But other than that, that's all it was. So we're going to go ahead and take the thing off the back of this side, and then we'll jump over to the other side, and I'll try to show you guys how to do the other side, but we'll see. Alright guys, so as you just saw, we got the whole e-brake system taken off of the truck. I'm actually kind of surprised I was able to get all of that off, and you guys actually see it pretty decent. At least it looked like it on the camera. So that is a wrap for today. Until I get the new parts, I'll have to look and see. Oh, that reminds me, I gotta order some new parts. I'll get it right on that. So I'm not sure when those parts are gonna be here. I'll have to double check. But I will catch you guys then. And what is going on today, guys? We are back. Today is Monday. We got pretty much the rest of our parts that we need. Well, not really need, but are going to use to get this thing off and go into paint. Now, we don't have all of it, but I think the little stuff, we need a sway bar, extended sway bar links, and then I'll put in the rear pinion seal before that goes to paint. But I think we're just going to kind of worry about that later. We'll get the sealing before it goes to paint, but the sway bar and extended links and stuff like that, we're going to wait until later, I think, just because I know you guys are just as ready as I am to get this thing rolling, see some paint on it, get a whole bunch of stuff, more stuff going, because we're about tired of the suspension mock-up stuff. So we got our parts here, as you can see, laid out. Super excited. So we went ahead and we got our ceramic brake pads. We also got our Timken wheel hubs, complete wheel hubs, has the ABS. Not that one. We're gonna use this one. This one, I might have peeked at this one. Oh, maybe I just, okay, there we go. So what we're gonna end up doing, guys, is obviously this truck does not have ABS. So what we'll do is we're gonna end up just taking that sensor out and just plugging the hole, and just not using it. I mean, that's just all there is to it. And we also got our drilled and slotted rotors. I don't really know what happened with the box here, guys. The other one was even worse than this. It looks like it had a bit of a rough ride, but it's here. The rotors, they're not really beat up or anything like that, so I'm not gonna throw a big fit about it. So we got all these. There's no sense in throwing all this on for it to come back off, for the guy to paint everything. It'll just make it easier on him and me. So we're going to jump into today's video, and we're going to start taking everything back apart so we can get some paint stuff rolling. Real quick, just to let you guys know, what our game plan for this is obviously we don't want the truck this high when we're doing the motor swap, pulling the motor out, the trans out, all that good stuff. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pull the leveling kit off and the coil spacer out, and then let the truck back down just on the coil spring, down back onto the axle. That way the truck's more of a reasonable height when we go to do all this stuff, and it's not ridiculously tall. So we're gonna go ahead and attack it that way, and I will catch you guys when we get done doing that. Alright guys, so since we're stopping real quick, I figured I'd stop, let you guys know what's going on. So obviously we got the axle down from being where it's supposed to. So we did that. We got the leveling kit off from the bottom, and now we're working on taking this coil spacer off. Well, I remembered I got the ratchet out in the socket and the wrench for the nut, all that good stuff. And it was pretty tight, and I remembered that I used the impact on it. So I think what we're gonna do is just like the other side, how we're gonna have to take the inner fender well out anyway. I think we're gonna go ahead and do that real quick. That way we can go ahead and just zap it off with the impact, just like we put the nuts on for the coil spacer. So we're gonna go ahead and do that real quick, and we're gonna keep on chugging along after that. Alright guys, so as you've just seen, we got our coil spacer off as well, and we had the 4 bolts in it. It was a lot easier when we first did it, and it was off the truck on the ground. So we got that done. The camera's about to die, so we're gonna go ahead and let that charge up for a little bit while I pull off the other side. I figured since you guys seen this side, you don't need to see both sides. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and I will catch up with you guys after that. Alright guys, so we got the driver's side coil spacer off now. So now we have all of the front lift besides, well, yeah, all the front lift. Obviously the coil spring is lift, but we have all the front lift components off. I know this isn't really right, but it'll do the job for right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and jack the front axle back up to get the coil spring back in place, and then set the front axle back on jack stands. And we'll let the front end back down, and then pull the frame jacks out, and then we'll lower the frame jacks and lift up the truck just a little bit, basically so it's the frame jacks are kind of just holding the front of the truck up, and then we will go ahead and start pulling the front axle back out. So we just got the front of the truck back down, pretty much as low as these frame jacks will go. We just want to have it that low so when we do the Fummins swap, we're not working above our heads. So we got that back down for right now. I didn't get a whole lot on that on video. I was trying to get the camera charged back up a little bit, but look at that slink. Woo! That's bad. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get the rear end drop back down some, because I'm gonna go nuts if the truck's gonna sit like that for a long time. So we're gonna go ahead and drop the rear end back down, and then we'll catch up with you guys after that. Guys, so we just got the rear drop down, so it's a lot better than what it was before. So we're gonna go ahead and roll with that. We're gonna go ahead and drop the front axle now, and then we'll call it a wrap after that. So we let the camera charge up for a little bit. All we did was pull the 4-link arms off, so we're good to go there. we're gonna go ahead and get the axle pulled on out now, and I will catch up with you after we get the axle. Alright guys, so as you just saw, we got the rear axle dropped and moved out from underneath the truck. So I can begin to tear down on it probably tomorrow or the day after that. For right now, we're going to leave the rear axle in the truck because Paul needs the frame jacks for the front end of his truck. Because if you guys remember in a previous video, we had to use the smaller frame jacks on the front of his truck because of how his leaf springs mount right at the front of his frame. So we're gonna leave the rear end in for right now. We have plenty to tear off on this front axle for right now. So we're gonna do that for right now. I think that is it for right now, guys. Thank you guys for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, we're getting there. Sorry it's taking so long, but we are getting there. So thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.